You know that feeling, right? On a blistering hot day, you walk into an air-conditioned room and it feels like pure magic. But it's not magic. It's actually some really cool science. So how does it really work? Let's break down the surprisingly simple secret hiding inside your AC.
I mean, we all love it, but have you ever really stopped to think about it? How does an air conditioner actually make a room cold? You flip a switch, cold air starts blowing out. So it's got to be creating cold air, right? That's what seems to make sense, but the truth is actually way more interesting. So here's the big surprise. It doesn't. Yeah, you heard me. An air conditioner doesn't create cold air. At all. And that one little fact is the key to understanding this entire process. So if it's not making things cold, what on earth is it doing? Well, an AC is basically a machine that's designed to move heat from one place to another. That's it. Think of it less like a cold creator and more like a really efficient heat taxi. Its one and only job is to pick up all that unwanted heat inside your house and just dump it outside. The cold you feel, that's just what's left behind once the heat is gone.
Okay, so to pull off this big heat-moving mission, your AC has a team of 4 key players. Think of them like a crew, all working together in a continuous cycle. Let's meet them. All right, you've got the evaporator coil, which is basically the heat sponge that works inside your house. Then there's the compressor. That's the heart of the whole operation. Outside, you've got the condenser coil, which acts as the heat radiator. And finally, there's the expansion valve, which we'll call the pressure dropper that gets everything ready to start the cycle all over again. So these 4 parts work together in this non-stop 4-step loop. We're going to follow the journey of this special liquid, called a refrigerant, as it goes on its little mission. Absorb heat inside, get squeezed really hard, dump that heat outside, and then cool down to do it all over again.
All right, let's start where all the action begins, inside your home. The goal here is simple: capture all that unwanted warmth from the air. Okay, so step 1, how does it grab the heat? Well, there's a fan that pulls in your warm room air and blows it over a set of really cold pipes, the evaporator coils. Inside those pipes is that super cold, low-pressure refrigerant. As your warm air passes over, the refrigerant just soaks up the heat like a sponge. It actually absorbs so much heat that it literally boils and turns into a gas. So now that our refrigerant has captured all that heat and turned into a gas, it has to go somewhere. It travels to the outdoor unit, where its new mission is to get rid of that heat for good. This is where the heart of the system, the compressor, gets to work. It takes that refrigerant gas and just squeezes it hard. You know how when you pump up a bike tire, the pump itself gets hot? It's the exact same idea. Squeezing that gas forces its molecules together, which makes its pressure and temperature absolutely skyrocket. It's now a very hot, high-pressure gas, carrying all that heat it just stole from your living room. This superheated gas then flows through another set of coils, the condenser. A second fan, the one in the outdoor unit, blows outside air over these coils, and since the gas is now much hotter than the air outside, all that heat naturally flows out of the refrigerant and into the air. That blast of hot air you feel when you walk past your AC unit, that's it. That's the heat from inside your house being kicked to the curb. So this is the real secret sauce right here, this amazing two-way transformation. Inside your house, the refrigerant turns from a liquid to a gas to absorb heat. Then outside, as it cools down and releases all that heat, it condenses back into a liquid. This constant phase changing is the whole trick. It's what lets the system grab a huge amount of heat in one place and just dump it somewhere else. We've successfully dumped the heat outside, but now our refrigerant is a warm, high-pressure liquid. It's not ready to go back inside and absorb more heat just yet. We need to reset it, get it cold again. And this brings us to the final step. That high-pressure liquid is forced through a tiny little opening in what's called the expansion valve. This causes a sudden, massive drop in pressure. It's just like when you spray a can of compressed air and the can gets freezing cold. That huge pressure drop makes the refrigerant intensely cold, turning it right back into that low-pressure liquid it started as, all ready to head back inside and absorb more heat. And what's controlling this whole continuous cycle? The thermostat. It's the brains of the operation. It just senses the temperature in the room and tells the compressor when to kick on to start moving heat and when to turn off because the job is done. So let's do a quick recap. The key things to remember are 1. Your AC is a heat taxi, not a cold creator. 2. The real magic is that refrigerant constantly changing from a liquid to a gas and back again. And finally, it's all just one elegant continuous loop of absorbing heat inside and releasing it outside. It's a pretty amazing process, right? All designed to move heat in one direction, out. But that brings up a fascinating thought. If this system is so good at moving heat, what would happen if you could run the whole thing backwards, pumping heat from the cold outside into your house? Well, you can, and that machine is called a heat pump. But that's a story for another time.